Hello everyone. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes for more people to join in. Meanwhile, I've just roughly written an ingredient list here. She'll take a close-up and you can just take a screenshot or write it down. So I won't be answering the questions while I'm doing the video. I'll answer all your questions at the end after we finish. Okay? Just a couple of more minutes. So somebody's asked, will the video be saved for later? The video is available for viewing on my Facebook page. Instagram, it will be available for the next 24 hours. So if you want to watch it again, you can just go to my Facebook page and save it. I hope everyone's taken a screenshot of the recipe. Let's focus on what we're going to be making now. I've already prepared a cake here and kept so that you can view it. I'll be giving you some tips as well on what variations you can make with it. And I think we can start now. So hi everyone, welcome to Gourmetized and the second in my live video sessions. So we're going to do a whole wheat mango and chocolate marble cake today. Marble is nothing but the effect which I've given on the cake. I've made this recipe completely whole wheat. There is of course a bit of sugar in it. There's no butter as well. I've used oil in place of it. It's a nice recipe with readily available ingredients at home. I thought of making this mango cake because mangoes are in season. But if you're making it any other time of the year, you can use strawberry puree in place of mango. You could even do a basic vanilla chocolate marble cake if you don't have access to either of the fruit purees. So shall we begin? First of all, we'll be mixing the dry ingredients first. I've already measured and weighed out 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour, which I'll be adding to one bowl here. And then I'll mix in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of baking soda or cooking soda, and a pinch of salt. So the reason why I add a pinch of salt is any sweetness needs a balance of salt in it. Any acid, when you're making savory, needs a hint of sweetness in it. If you put a pinch of salt in any of your baked items, the taste is enhanced better. So I'm just mixing these 4 dry ingredients here and keeping it. And the reason why we mix these is so that the baking soda and the baking powder gets very well incorporated in the wheat before we mix in all the wet ingredients. I've mixed this and kept. Here we will be mixing the wet ingredients. So first I take my curd, 1/4 cup curd, quarter cup oil. I've taken a vegetable oil, regular vegetable oil. You can of course add a good light olive oil in it, but there is a slight hint of olive oil in the taste of the cake, which if you don't mind and you want to consume olive oil for health reasons, then definitely go ahead. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Here I've taken 1/4 cup of milk, room temperature milk. And I mix these first. Once the oil gets a bit emulsified into the curd and the milk, I add the powdered sugar. This is basic granulated sugar which I have just powdered and taken 3/4 cup of. Now this of course is as per your taste. You can even go lower to half a cup if you don't want your cake to be too sweet, or you could go higher. It also depends on the sweetness of your mangoes. Mix so that the sugar also gets very well emulsified into the liquids. Look, it's just like a very seamless kind of liquid. Now I add 1 cup of mango puree. These are basic mango purees. It really does not matter which type of mango you take, be it Alfonso or anything, whatever you like. This is your mango cake, so you can make it however you want. Whichever favorite mango of yours, you can take that puree. I have just cut the mangoes and put them into the mixie without a drop of water or milk, and also strain them so that I don't get the fibers in my cake. If you're making any other fruit cake here, then you can add the same thing, 1 cup of strawberry puree. Mix this really well. Once we've mixed all the wet ingredients together, we'll be adding these dry ingredients little by little and mixing them. Make sure that you only mix as much as required to completely mix the wheat. We don't want to over mix it because we don't want to form gluten here. We want the cake to be spongy, so we're only going to mix as much as required. The wet ingredients proportion is really going to matter on how finely your wheat is processed. If it's really fine, then this much is enough. If yours is a bit coarsely ground, then you'll have to add a few drops of water, which I have ready over here, because my wheat is very coarse. So I'm just going to add like a couple of tablespoons to my mixture. As you can see, it's nicely mixed now, and this is the kind of consistency I want. Now I'm going to divide my portion to make a chocolate batter, and this is going to be the base of our mango batter. I'm going to be taking maybe about 2/3 separate for the cocoa and the remaining 1/3 for the mango. You don't have to measure it or weigh it to separate it, just eyeball it. This is going to be my cocoa. Now what I've done over here is I've taken 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and mixed it with 2-3 tablespoons of water and made a paste. If you don't have cocoa powder at home, and if you have a chocolate compound at home, you can do the same thing. You can just melt enough of the chocolate compound that you get 2 tablespoons. You could take milk chocolate as well as dark chocolate. I personally love dark chocolate, so I'm going to be mixing dark chocolate here. I'm just going to shift this a bit more here. Yeah. Now this entire mixture goes into my 2/3 batter. So now both our batters are ready. Next I'm going to show you on how to spread it across into our pan. I've taken a regular circle aluminium pan. You can take silicone, you can take aluminium, It's really does not matter. You can also take different shapes. You can take a cup. You can make it in cupcakes as well. You could do a square or even a loaf tin. So first, what we're going to do, you could come closer for a look. Just put one layer down of the chocolate first, and then spread it with a spoon. And tap it. Next, what you will do is take the mango with a spoon on top, put it directly in the center, and spread it with a spoon. Since we've kept the batter a bit thick, it's going to be easier to do it. And then tap it again. By tapping, we ensure that all the air bubbles have disappeared as well as the batter's spread. Next, we again put a big spoon of the chocolate batter right into the center. And spread it again. You don't have to make like really neat circles. You could just roughly spread it. Next, the mango layer. Just keep doing concentric circles of either of the, alternating them. And then tap it again. And then the chocolate layer again. You can make as many circles as you want. So I've gone with 3 layers here already. But if you want to stop at just 2 layers, one brown, one yellow, one brown, one yellow, that's also good. Lastly, another small blob. And I stop here for my tin. I pat it. Yeah. So after you've completed this step, we use a toothpick for the decoration. Take your center point and just draw a line like this and wipe. Then go vertical from the other direction, wipe. Then do the left side, wipe, right side and wipe. What's most important is that when you touch the end, you wipe your toothpick. Then we go cross, wipe, 90 degrees to that, wipe. Same for the other directions. Like this. Now I want to make it more intricate, so I'm going to go in between the lines I've created as well. This is also called the spider effect. So you could also use two colors and make it like a spider web for your son's birthday. I had made it once and my son really loved it. I placed a small tiny Spider-Man figure on top of the cake after I made it, and he fell in love with the cake. So here my cake is complete. And now I'll be keeping it in my oven for about 20 to 25 minutes in a preheated oven, 175 degrees. And once it's done, I've already showed you the toothpick test. Once it's done, you take it out, you put a toothpick in, and this is how your cake is going to look after it's made. I'm not going to show you the oven procedure. I'm sure you would know it. You just place this gently inside and then check at the 20 to 22 minute mark to see if it's done. You can serve this with maybe a chocolate sauce on top. You could serve it like a nice tea cake. You could also serve it with a vanilla ice cream on the side with some chocolate sauce on top of it. It tastes good even just like that. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you make it, do tag me, do share the pictures with me. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them, or you could also send it in the comments later. Yeah.
What ingredients should we put to make the cake more spongy?
So this cake is going to turn out spongy. As you can see, this combination of the oil and the curd and the milk gives the sponginess which eggs cake have. It's not obviously going to be the same, but since we're doing a whole wheat, I think this is a very, very good recipe to make it spongy. Any other questions? I hope you've got the recipe list written down well. I'm also going to be posting it in the comments below in a few minutes. If you have any doubts, let me know. Another variation what you can do is, if you don't want to use white sugar in your recipe, you could substitute the same amount of sugar with brown sugar as well, with castor sugar as well. I have not personally tried it with jaggery, but I think even that should be a good idea. Yeah. So here's me, Vimki Girya, signing off. See you next week. I'll keep you updated on the next video I do. I hope you love this recipe. If you do comment, like and share. Bye.